Mrs. Lapka, your studio art teacher. This year during virtual learning, I'm going to be breaking our big projects down into 5 different lessons. So over the course of 5 video lessons, we'll have 5 big steps to complete our project from beginning to end. So I'm really looking forward to this first project. We're going to be learning about a really special artist and learning about how to make a really cool collage. Okay guys, so for our Romare Bearden collage project, we're going to be breaking it again into 5 video lessons or 5 steps for the project. On day 1 today, we're going to introduce our artist and talk about some techniques, and we're going to sketch and plan out our project. On day 2, we're going to create our backgrounds for our project, or the scenery and the background of our image. And then on day 3 and 4, we're going to be working on creating our subject, or the main focus, or the person or object that's at the front of our picture. And then on day 5, we're going to finish up any tiny little details that you may have left, and we're going to document our work. I'm excited. You ready? Let's go. So we're going to talk about an artist. His name is Romare Bearden, and he was born in 1911. He lived his life around the same time as maybe your great-grandparents, and he was one of the most influential African-American artists of our time. He also is a certain type of artist who creates what's known as collages, or he makes a collage. If you take a look at this painting down here, or rather this collage down here, you'll notice, if you look closely, that he's created this picture using lots of tiny little pieces of paper. So he didn't paint this picture or draw it, he actually puzzled it together with little cut pieces of paper. So Romare Bearden would use things like photographs, maybe from magazines or newspapers, some things that you maybe already have lying around the house. Sometimes he would just use colored paper. I've got origami paper coming out the wazoo at my house, so I'm going to be using some of that. Or any other thing. This came from like a calendar at my house. So anything that you can use to chop up and make pieces, that's how Romare Bearden created his art. So let's learn a little bit more about Romare. So Romare Bearden grew up in a time in American history where citizens were fighting for equal treatment of Black and brown Americans. This part of history was called the Civil Rights Movement. It's really similar to what's going on in our country right now with Black Lives Matter. So we're going to look at some of Romare Bearden's artwork that speaks to this experience that he had growing up and being involved in this movement in America. So let's take a look at some of Romare Bearden's collages. What you're going to notice right away is that they're everyday scenes of American Black culture from the 1960s. So these collages are just showing you, Romare wanted to show us what life was like for him every day in New York City. So what I love about his artwork is that he has lots of tiny little pieces. You can totally tell that they're a collage, but also there are so many different things happening all in one picture. So especially the painting on the left here, I want you to take a minute to really look closely and see all the different things that are happening. So for our project, we are all going to make a collage, and your collage can be a picture of anything that you like. If you're really inspired by Romare Bearden's artwork, you might choose to do a picture of your everyday life, maybe a scene of something that you and your family are doing during quarantine. Or you could do a self-portrait, like the picture on this page. You could do a portrait of your pet, like I'm going to do. You could do a picture of anything that inspires you at all. But we're all going to try this technique of collage, and we're going to be talking a little bit about collage later, but for today I'm going to talk about what we're going to do for just today's art assignment, which is creating your sketch or your design of what you're going to make. So for today's studio assignment, our first day of 5 on our Romare Bearden collage project, you're going to be drawing a sketch or a design on a piece of paper of what you want your collage to look like. Now this won't be your final project. This will be your roadmap, just showing you in your mind what you want to include on your collage. That way, when you're cutting out pieces, you know exactly what sort of things you need pieces of to fill your paper. So you're going to use today a piece of computer paper or lined paper, any paper that you have around is totally fine, and just a pencil. And so I want you to think in your mind what you want your collage to look like, what it's going to be a picture of, and draw that out. Make sure you hang on to this so that next time on step 2, we can start thinking about our background for our collage. Now for mine, I'm going to do a portrait of my cat. My daughter drew this colored picture of our cat a couple weeks ago, a portrait of her when she was sitting on a blue chair, and I loved that portrait that she did. So I'm going to use that same inspiration, and I'm going to make my own version of her drawing that she made. Maybe I can get her too. All right, I hope you guys have fun today, and I'll see you soon. Bye.